Hello and welcome to the second part of the Skyrim helmet creation. Now, as I mentioned towards the end of the first part, I'm going to be using some paper mache, and what this stuff right here is, it's basically just a bag of paper pulp with like a powdery mixture mixed in with it, so all you gotta do is add water. Now, you could do it with the old-fashioned, newspaper strips with flour and water, whatever, if you want to, but this is a little more clay-like once you mess with it. It kind of has the consistency of oatmeal or something. So, anyways, I got this at a hobby shop here in the United States called Hobby Lobby, and it was $8, which seems a little steep, but you get a whole pound of it, which this is 1 pound. It doesn't seem like that much. I mean, it seems like it should be more than 1 pound, but in any case, we'll see what we can do with it. So, also have a vinyl cloth here on top of my art desks, because this is probably going to get a little messy. Be a lot easier to clean up though since it's water-based instead of using the resin or something like that. Also might get into, I got a big jar of plaster as well, so it says it's for ceramics, but it'll probably be about the same as plaster of Paris, I would imagine. Sounds about the same, just add water, wait 30 minutes, whatever. So we'll put on the paper mache layer first, and then I'll get in and put in some of that plaster with like a brush. Anyways, so I'm gonna just recycle an old convenience store cup. In this case, Quick Trip, if you're familiar with that. They got a great lunch special. Any sized drink, sandwich, and chips for only $5. So I got a big 52 ounce. So let's get my money's worth. Okay, so the directions say to measure 1/8 to 1/4 of a cup of water for each 1 ounce. Since I don't have a scale, I can't tell how much 1 ounce is, so we'll just kind of guesstimate. So I'll just grab a handful of this, and right now I have about this much water in here. It's all the way up to the bottom of the label there. So I'm just going to grab a handful of this and just put it in here. Another one. Put that in there. You can see the dust flying up as I use that. So we'll just do 2 handfuls and see how far that gets us. So I'll just go in here and just start mixing it up. And it looks like that's going to be a little too much water for that small amount, so let's go ahead and add some more. Grab another handful here. Just drop it down in there. Okay, that might be about right. So yeah, it feels about like oatmeal. And that still might be a little too wet, but maybe a little bit more, just to thicken it up some. Hopefully I don't end up wasting all this. Okay, so we'll get that mixed up. Yeah, that's a little better. So I got about 4 handfuls for that. Probably a little over a cup of water, like about 1.5 cups. So yeah, that's all right. Okay, so now we got some oatmeal. Okay, now one thing that kind of worries me though is this paper is construction paper, so it's very thin, and I'm worried that the wetness of this paper mache will cause problems with the paper. So I'm just going to get some out, just kind of flatten it in my hands a little bit, and we'll just go ahead and plop it on there. It might be a better idea to start towards the bottom, but since I already got it there on the top, I'll just go ahead and put it on there. Just kind of shape it on there as thin as you can. Not really too thin, but enough to create a good layer and still maintain some of the shape underneath. So we'll get that. I'll tell you what, like I said, it's probably a better idea to start at the bottom so it kind of builds up a base as we're going. So I'm just going to leave that put, and I'm going to go ahead and start working on the bottom there instead. So well, now that I got that up there, it's going to be hard to get to the bottom, so, trial and error. Okay, well, scratch that. We'll just keep going there at the top. Hopefully it's got enough strength to keep it solid. I can already see the wetness is causing the paper to collapse a little bit there. Let's see, let me just recycle this jar of plaster here as a temporary headpiece. Maybe that'll help. Okay. Yeah, that'll help. Okay, so we'll just get this layered on there a little bit. And if you get to a point where you can't really work any further on your model, and you want to take a break, but you don't want to waste all that paper mache mix that you've put together, just cover it up with some saran wrap or something. Maybe a plastic sandwich bag. You don't have to get the shape perfect right now because we can go in later and sand it a little bit and get the rough edges off of it. Okay, so that's starting to take shape. Get a little bit more, and then I'll tell you what, I'm just going to let this dry. I'm going to cover up what I have left there and let this dry so it forms a little bit harder surface, and then I can work a little bit easier from it after that. The best part about this is when you get it all over your hands, it's non-toxic. Actually, in high school, I ate a handful of it for $5, so I didn't get sick. So it's non-toxic. I don't recommend it because it tastes awful. But anyways, just easy clean up. Just wash your hands with water and soap, and you don't have to worry about any stains or anything. So it's nice and easy to work with. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit and dry, and we'll come back and work on it some more.